City boy, city boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video. And you know we gotta go ahead and do a Saturday night main event review, baby. Now, I was gonna do a review of Smackdown that happened last night, alright? But when I started watching this shit, I legitimately could not get through the first hour and a half of the show, all right? So I'll just give you my quick thoughts on what happened last night, and then we'll go ahead and jump into Saturday night main event. Last night's show was ass. 0 out of 10. One of the worst episodes of Smackdown I've ever seen in my entire life. All right. Probably the worst. Nothing but pure jobbers on the fucking show. Jobbers, mid-carders, undercarders. All right. We had undercarders main event the show. That's how fucking bad Friday Night Smackdown was. R-Truth came out, cut a promo, and R-Truth is literally like, he's like the retarded cousin that you don't take him seriously. You don't take anything that R-Truth says seriously, and how could you? He's been mentally retarded for the past 15 years. All right, he's been the same character, mentally retarded, for 15 years straight, and he's out there cutting a promo. And in the last title reign of John Cena, the last run of John Cena, he is in a feud with R-Truth where he's not building it up at all. John Cena doesn't show up at all to build up the feud. Instead, well, what do we get? Do we get something creative in lieu of this? Huh? Do we get something at all? No, we get a sit-down interview one week and then a boring promo from R-Truth the next week. And like, what are we supposed to do with this, right? We got jobbers facing jobbers all through the night. Zelina Vega and Julia and Charlotte Flair in the ring. Zelina Vega takes the pin from Julia, so that way Julia can move on to the Money in the Bank. And this is just this makes your champion look terrible. And then we move on to tonight, where your champion, who just took a pin last night, goes over on Chelsea Green, making Chelsea Green look even weaker than what she already did by losing to Zelina Vega for the United States champion in the first place. It was just a bad show all around, man. Bad show, terrible promos, nothing really creative going on. The most creative thing that happened was the backstage segment or vignette type thing that they had going with the LDF, but even that was like bare minimum creative, right? And they were just talking about Worlds Collide and how they're going to be there, and they're going to be in a match with a couple luchadors from AAA. Who cares? All right. So, like I said, that last night's show, awful. 0 out of 10. That's what I'm going to give it. All right. Now let's go ahead and move on into the Saturday night main event. Tonight's show started off with CM Punk, Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. This match was ass. I don't care what anybody's talking about, all right? I won't say it was ass. This match was okay at the very best, average at best. And this match ended with Bronson Reed making his return. Now, Bronson Reed makes his return, takes out CM Punk by tackling him through the barricade, and while the ref was distracted, and then while Sami Zayn is distracted, Braun Breaker goes ahead and hits him with a spear. Okay, so Braun Breaker picks up the victory, pins Sami Zayn clean in the middle of the ring, because somebody had to job out, and it has to be Sami Zayn, because what the fuck is Sami Zayn doing here? All right, so after the match is over, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, I'm gonna get tongue-tied and tongue-twisted with these motherfuckers over the next few weeks while this shit builds, but whatever, all right? So they stare off at each other in the ring. Seth Rollins moves Braun Breaker out of the way, and he gives Bronson Reed a hug, right? Tells them to shake hands, and they're all tag teaming together. or not tag teaming, but they're now in a faction, okay? So now we found out who the third guy was going to be in this faction, and it's Bronson Reed. So you got Bronson Reed, a guy who was just feuding before his unfortunate injury. He was just feuding with Seth Rollins. He was just feuding with him, right? Bronson Reed was on his way up the card before he got, unfortunately hurt in this terrible fucking War Games match that nobody asked for, right? Nobody asked for this match. Nobody asked for Bronson Reed to be in that match. And then all of a sudden, he's doing tsunamis off the fucking cage, and he's doing all these extra crazy ass moves. And obviously, this man is 300 pounds, shouldn't be doing crazy ass shit like this. And obviously, he got injured. And he was just, like I said, in a feud with Seth Rollins. So they're going to have to figure out a way to make this make sense. But I don't have faith in them doing that, because even up to this point, they still haven't explained why why Braun Breaker, is even there, right? They still haven't bothered explaining why Braun Breaker, who is leagues above Seth Rollins as a wrestler, right? Just leagues above him. All right. He has more potential than Seth Rollins, especially at this point in his career, to be something big. And he's settled for being a henchman, just like Tiffany Stratton, right? And in her first run, when she first got into the main roster, right? He's just a brainless henchman now. And with that, we have Bronson Reed coming back to also become a brainless henchman. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how they follow this up on Monday night. But like I said, I don't have faith in this. I don't have faith that they're going to do anything spectacular with this, because they've already buried this whole team into the ground already, with them running away, getting their asses whipped week after week after week, running away from the baby faces, being outnumbered by the baby faces, not explaining what's actually going on here. Nobody understands why Braun Breaker is on this team, right? They're just going through it and expecting people just to not care, not to ask any questions, and then we move the fuck on, right? That's what we got to do. We move the fuck on. Chelsea Green, she gets an interview where she says, she was longest reigning, best, women's U.S. champion of all time, this, that, and the other. And then she moves on to her match and gets buried completely, okay? Because like I said, Zelina Vega, last night in her match with Julia and Charlotte Flair, she got pinned clean in the middle of the ring by Julia, who is a brand new superstar to the roster, and somebody that nobody gives a fuck about, because they didn't build her up. They didn't put a bunch of vignettes out there to build up her character. She hasn't cut any promos, and I don't think she can. I think she only speaks Japanese, right? I think she speaks less English than fucking what's her face, Io Sky. So I'm like not sure how this is going to all work out. Whatever. But she just took the pin clean in the middle of the ring to Julia, and now Zelina Vega is pinning Chelsea Green with the help of the Secret Service. Secret Service is interrupting all through the match, the usual shenanigans, and somehow Zelina Vega still comes out on top, bloodies up fucking Chelsea Green with a botched 619. All right, so Chelsea Green is just leaking all over the place. All right, and Chelsea Green looks like a fucking chump now. So what do we do with Chelsea Green after this? Because this match did not protect her in the slightest. She could not win her title back with the help of the Secret Service, Alba Fire, and Piper Niven. Every single one of these women who are 3 times the size at least of Zelina Vega, yet Zelina Vega is somehow Zelina Hogan and just going over all of going over all this shit. She's just the best thing since sliced bread, obviously, because no matter what they come up with, no matter who the fuck they put in front of her, somehow, some way, even though Zelina Vega was just jobbing not too long ago to literally every fucking body, now all of a sudden she's just out there and, she's just beaten. She's just a world beater now. Standing at a solid 4'5", weighing nothing more than 35 pounds. She's beating everybody. She's beating Chelsea Green clean in the middle of the ring with help. This shit is absolutely wild to watch. All right. I don't believe in Zelina Vega as champion at all. And how could I? She just got fucking pinned. This is something that Triple H loves to do. He loves to have his champions take pins because nobody is over anybody else. All right. Nobody is. So it is what it is. We move the fuck on. We get an announcement that his name is El Hijo del Vikingo, okay, versus Chad Gable at Worlds Collide. Who cares? Who the fuck cares? I don't care about these luchadors. I don't care that they got AAA. I don't care. I genuinely do not give a shit. And I don't know how anybody else could. I don't know how anybody else could possibly give a damn about AAA. There's already fucking like 15 luchadors on the roster right now. So what does this matter, right? Including fucking El Grande Americano, right? Like, so who cares, right? Let's move the fuck on. We get John Cena versus R-Truth, all right? Now, this match, it didn't overstay its welcome, in my opinion, all right? But even though it didn't overstay its welcome, it was still too damn long, all right? It was still too damn long, and John Cena still had to win against R-Truth, a damn comedy character. R-Truth came out dressed up as John Cena. They announced him as Ron Cena when he came out. This shit was just embarrassing, all right? Like I said before, like, R-Truth is a guy where, you know, you can't even fucking take him seriously, man. Like, everything that he does is like, oh, well, he tried, right? He tried this, that, and the other. You cannot take R-Truth seriously. So the fact that this match even went 5 minutes, I think that's what it was. I think it was about 5 minutes of a match. So like I said, it didn't overstay its welcome. I just felt like John Cena should have just went over, fucking shoulder block, you know what I'm saying? Blue Thunder Driver, whatever, you know what I mean? Boom, AA, you know, attitude adjustment, and we move the fuck on. That's what it should have been. It should have just been and then after the match, it should have just been an absolute beatdown of R-Truth. That's how I would have booked it, personally. But instead, we got John Cena acting like he was going to, you know, smack R-Truth across the face. He gives the title to the referee. Referee is distracted with the title, putting the title away. John Cena goes ahead, kicks R-Truth in the nuts. AA. 1, 2, 3, clean in the middle of the ring. And after the match, he smacks R-Truth with the title and he leaves. Everybody's cheering because nobody gives a damn about R-Truth. All right, it is what it is. I mean, R-Truth is hilarious when he wants to be. R-Truth is a good comedy character when he's booked properly. But the way that he's been booked these last couple of weeks, how could anybody possibly give a damn about him getting beat down by John Cena? It just is what it is. We move the fuck on. All right. After this, we go to a commercial, then we come back. Jey Uso, he's walking backstage and he runs into John Cena. John Cena says that there's a whole lot of pressure on Jey to win this match because he's in a match with a fucking YouTuber. And if he loses against a YouTuber, all right, and John Cena leaves with his championship, then that's something that could possibly ruin wrestling. And Jey Uso comes from, you know, the storied Anoa'i fucking family lineage, so there's just more pressure on him tonight. All right, and in this promo segment, John Cena, you can just tell that he's not into this at all. All right, he's so fucking robotic, uncharismatic, just unconvincing in his promo that he's cutting on Jey Uso. It just literally just feels like he does not want to be there. And I can't blame him, right? I literally can't blame him. Like, what even is this, right? Unless we're going to get a match between Jey Uso and John Cena, just them for what? To unify those championships again? Like, what are we going to do? Like, what are we going to do? Why are we here? Why are we doing this? But once I saw this, I knew, because we've already been hearing rumblings that there was going to be a match with John Cena, and people were saying it could have been Travis Scott and Logan Paul, but I wasn't too sure about that whole thing. But so whatever. We'll get into that later on tonight. All right. So Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest, that came up next. All right. This match, it was what it was. It was worse than their fucking WrestleMania match. And I mean, it was a WrestleMania match, so I guess that makes sense. But this match just was not very good at all. And it was very anticlimactic. We're at the end of the match, okay? We're at the end of the match. Drew McIntyre, he sets up Damian Priest up against a chair in the corner so he can hit the Claymore on him. All right, Damian Priest moves out of the way just in the nick of time. Drew McIntyre, smacks the chair, hurts his foot, hurts his knee, whatever the fuck, right? And then Damian Priest hits him with a South of Heaven, or he hits him with a chair. I forget how the chair even got into play here, but whatever, it ended up getting into play. But the chair, Damian Priest grabs Drew, hits him in the throat with the chair, right? Does like a, smacks the floor with the chair and, while it's standing up, and hits Drew's fucking throat on it, right? Then hits Drew with a South of Heaven. And then after that, he sets up the concerto, all right? He puts Drew on top, puts his head on top of the chair, then grabs the other chair, smacks Drew on top of the head with the chair. And then after this, Damian Priest, he just walks out. He just walks out of the ring. He has a referee open up the gate. Now, mind you, all right? I'm pretty sure I've seen this happen before where the referee opens up the gate, but in this kind of match where you just get done hitting a fucking concerto on somebody, all right? This ruins people's careers, ends people's careers legitimately, all right? Well, not legit, but in kayfabe, this is a move that ends people's careers, all right? I'm pretty sure it ended Edge's career, or at least it ended like the whole Edge being in the faction with Judgment Day, right? Took him out for a while, whatever. And the referee just opens up the gate, and Damian Priest just walks out. He just walks out. Doesn't climb it would have been so much better to see the visual of him climbing over, right, and then touching the floor. But no, he just has the referee open up the door, and he just walks out. And very anticlimactic ending to a fucking steel cage match on Saturday Night Main Event. We move the fuck on. All right, we get Logan Paul versus Jey Uso next. All right, this match was a whatever match. All right, Logan Paul carried literally this entire match. Jey Uso hit all his usual shit to pop up. Samoan shit, Samoan drop, super kicks, splashes, spear, whatever, all right? He's doing all his usual stuff while Logan is literally carrying this fucking match, all right? This match ends when John Cena comes out while Jey Uso is getting ready to pick up the pin over Logan Paul. He pulls the ref out of the ring. That takes the ref out of commission for a little bit. Then John Cena proceeds to attack Jey Uso, proceeds to put the beats on Jey Uso. While he's doing that, Cody Rhodes comes out and makes the save. This is what I figured was going to happen as soon as I saw John Cena and Jey Uso backstage, all right? Cody Rhodes comes out, he makes the save, all right? Hits John Cena with the crossroads, and Jey Uso ends up picking up the win by frog splash over Logan Paul, all right? Then Cody Rhodes says that, he's back. It sucks that his reign had to go through Rhodes country or some shit like that. And, John Cena has a partner in Logan Paul. He has a partner in Jey Uso. So they'll see each other at Money in the Bank. And that's going to be the tag team match. And then it just cuts off because they went over time, I guess. So right after Cody Rhodes says, I'll see you at Money in the Bank, screen just cuts to black. All right. No, fucking letting it breathe or any of that because they went over time. So this, like I said, this was what it was. This was a fucking shit show. I did not enjoy myself at all in the slightest. Okay, I'll give this shit a 2 out of 10. How could I give it anything more? All right, everybody is buried. Nobody's over. All right, I mean, what the fuck was this, man? This was a I think this was probably the worst one that we got so far. All right, this might have been the worst Saturday Night Main Event that we got so far. All right, I mean, Jesse the Body Ventura, I love it when he's on commentary because he just calls it out. I love that he just calls it out, and then fucking Michael Cole, he has to sit there and fucking, try to, back up the bullshit that's going on, try to put it over the bullshit that's going on. Like when Drew McIntyre gets hit with the concerto, and Damian Priest just walks out of the fucking ring, very anticlimactic. Fucking Jesse the Body Ventura was like, oh, well, that was great. That was a great finish to the match, right? All sarcastically. He just walks out of the ring like, okay, well, like, Jesse the Body, he's not afraid of calling out the bullshit that goes on in this fucking show, and that's something that I always look forward to whenever we get to a Saturday night main event. But yeah, this show was ass, man. This show was ass. So we'll see what happens come Monday. All right, we got NXT Battleground tomorrow. If y'all want to, I'll go ahead and do a review on that. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Like and subscribe if y'all want to hear some more. And this has been your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.